Morning, all of you all. Morning. Firstly, Prasad, thank you for that invite, and Ravi, really thank you for giving me this opportunity. Really appreciate this opportunity. I'm indeed honored. And thank you for ThoughtWorks for giving this wonderful building, a wonderful platform for all of us to get together. When I heard this topic, networking for impact, I was wondering, how do I go about putting my thoughts across? Because I don't know the audience. All I know is, there are a bunch of people who are working in product and they are product managers. Then right? You just don't know. When you don't know someone, your audience, you tend to think what is the best way to put together a few PPTs as aid to run, say, 1.5 hour, talk. What is the first thing we do? We go to Google, right? That's exactly I did. So here is what I figured out in Google. So I found a book on MBA Guide to Networking, right? Then I went further, Ultimate Guide to Networking. Then I found few more, right? On the job guide to networking. It went on, networking for dummies. This was interesting. And there's one more, lawyer's guide for networking. I was wondering, this topic cannot be so complicated, right? This is so commonsensical, a simple topic. We breathe in, breathe out, live with the network, in the social circle, in the family circle, in the corporate sector. We meet people in the airport. This topic cannot be very complicated. I think the best way to get started with my presentation, putting together my thoughts, is to shred all these Google search and then reflect on my own experience for the last 24 years. Been privileged to travel to around 20-25 countries in my career. Then I thought I need to reflect on a few good incidents as the initial pointers to get started with this presentation, right? So here is what I'm going to start with. One incident, which was very interesting, dates back to 1995. I was flying into Bangalore from New York, and I don't know whether I was on KLM or Lufthansa. Either I would have landed in Frankfurt or in Schiphol in Amsterdam. Next to me was a gentleman, a renowned personality, theatre personality in the country, Nasiruddin Shah. Yeah, and I could see people coming, saying hi, hello sir, etc., etc. But I had no clue about Nasiruddin Shah till that point. I had absolutely no clue. Then we got off in this airport, and after a lot of people came and met him, I also started talking to him. Then in the airport, we sat together. I offered him a cup of coffee. He came with me. Then we got an announcement that from Schiphol to Bangalore, the flight is delayed by 5 hours. So what do you do in these 5 hours? So he sat next to me. A lot of people were coming, and he started asking a lot of questions. Right from my name, my family, my childhood, my village, my education, my work, my boss. He went on asking questions for almost 3-4 hours. Went on and kept on passionately answering. Tell you what, guys, in the 5 hours, I might have asked him just 5 questions. Not more than 5 questions. I got off in Bangalore, came home, then I told my wife this is what happened. Rather, I had not even married then. I told my friends, this is what happened. They said, what did you ask? I said, nothing. I didn't know any questions to ask. My first question to all of you is, imagine it is not me today, it was Nasiruddin Shah. What are the few questions that you would ask him? Quick, I want this to be starting as an interactive discussions. Come on, guys.
Why did you get into films?
Sorry? Why did you get into films? Okay, one.
How did you pick the role?
How did you pick the role? Okay.
What made it successful?
What made you
Which is
successful?
your best
What was your favorite actor?
Yeah?
Which is your best film?
Which is your best film? By the way, at that point in time, Mohra had just released, okay? In 1994, Mohra is released. I'm sure most of you must have seen it, one of the great and hit movies, right? At that point in time. So, yeah, go ahead.
What's a day in your life? What's a day? What's a difficult day in Ashwin Shah's life?
Okay.
What is the worst film and why?
What's the worst film and why?
What made you so successful in all kinds of work?
Absolutely. Great. Lot of questions, right? I see some people quite quiet and silent. Can I ask them why you are still silent? Is it because you are grappling with what is the question I would have asked?
Yeah. or my question was already asked by somebody else.
Okay. Guys, this exactly happens with most of us. Whenever either we go to the forum, whenever we meet new people, that we don't know what questions to ask because we get stuck. Either there is lack of preparedness, or we don't know, we wouldn't have streamed in our mind in terms of what are a few questions that would fly well to relate in a person. Okay? So that was my revelation as well. Now, with that note, I want to ask a few questions here. What are the key questions that I want to ask are, what according to you is networking? Now that I have triggered your thought in terms of asking questions, what according to what is your definition of networking? Like Ravi was asking, what is product management? We are grappling with the definition. What according to you is networking? Come on.
Knowing the other person.
Knowing the other person. Brilliant.
Building rapport.
Building rapport.
Getting a mind share.
Getting a mind share. Yeah.
It's basically connecting someone via someone.
Someone on Simon at a personal level.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Let's start using few terms here as well. Lovely Pawan. You're Pawan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is trying to invoke other hub, right? For instance, let us say you have the hobby as developing bonsai, for instance, right? Let's say in that circle, somebody who has some skills, technology skills. You leverage that person to connect to other hub. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Sustainable symbiotic relationship.
Sustainable
Symbiotic relationship.
symbiotic relationship. Can you explain a little more for little looked unwinded? Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't mean to use that boring word. Sustainable as in long term, symbiotic as in mutually useful.
Okay, let me use another term. In networking we use two terms. Okay, one is the strong ties, another one is the weak ties. Okay, and ask me this question a little later on. I have a few slides on the strong ties as well as weak ties in terms of when do you use this one. Go on. What's networking?
Find a common thread.
Yeah.
Strike the common chord, common thread. Lovely. What else? Cool. So I think it's more or less in there. So basically, in summary, you connect at a personal level, a professional level, trying to understand what is common, what is the mind share, etc. Right? What's the second question? Who makes up the network according to you? Who are the stakeholders in the network?
Everybody.
Everybody. Meaning, next
Individuals.
People.
individuals. Can you qualify these people? Individuals. All are individuals. Can you qualify them? Can I say family,
Family, friends.
friends,
Acquaintances.
stakeholders, peers, yeah,
Acquaintances.
acquaintances, yeah. Who else? Who else from the network?
Friends.
Friends. Who else?
Customers.
Customers. I'm not getting one important stakeholder.
Mutually interested.
Customers.
Mutual interest.
Mutual interest. Okay. One more important.
Individuals from different walks of life.
Lovely, lovely one. Can you put together the, a big hand for it? Individuals from different walks of life. See, we miss acknowledging our maid servants. We miss acknowledging our people who serve us on a day-to-day basis. We miss acknowledging people who serve coffee outside, right? They make our life. We miss networking with them also. We miss thanking them, right? I was with PricewaterhouseCoopers few years ago, and I was working for Wipro Technologies as a consultant to do some project, and this was in MG Road, Times of India building, if you're aware, right? And I was parking my car there then. It's after 10 years, there was a guy called Ramraj, yeah? And whenever I even go today to MG Road, he says, sir, come and park here. I left the organization 10 years ago. Right? You know how difficult it is to park in MG Road? But even today I park without any difficulty. That's the power of the network, right? But we underestimate thinking that network is only for what is my skin in the game. Yeah? What is in it for me? That's where you lose the whole thing. Lovely. So what's the next question? Why network? Why network?
Typically,
One is somebody said is the mind share, right? Yeah, Pawan, go ahead.
Why network? You never know who's gonna come as a great help to you. That's what I've been told from my grandparents. So you never
Expand
know.
your horizons.
Yeah, right.
New possibilities.
New possibilities. Oh, lovely answer.
Yeah.
New possibilities, right?
Yeah.
So we have this tunnel thinking. My views, I know this technology, I know this space, but we are not open to the views outside, right? In fact, we have this 4 generations. One is the generation W. They are born before 1980s. Then they are called the radio generations. Yeah. Then you have the generation Y. They are born after 1980. They are called the internet generation. And today we are talking about the generation C. That's the gadget generation. They are called the C generation because they are connected, they are clicking all the time. They are with some gadgets. You will not be able to find one child today without a gadget. Can you find one child today without a gadget in Bangalore? Either it's an iPad, or on Wii, or on Kinect, or on Nintendo. The child is with everything, right?
Always with dad's phone.
Absolutely. Now the reason why I brought up this different generations is because when, let's say, most of you are generation Y, if I see this one, but there's a gap in your thinking versus the generation X thinking, which was the older generation. Same way, generation C don't understand you. Now, unless until you remove this tunnel and open for different views, you will never find new possibilities. Thanks, Ravi, for the term. Great. Now, so let's summarize what we looked at, and I came up with a few things, which is, I'm sure all of you have told so far. One, getting to know people from all walks of life. Like, one of the gentlemen, the right made that. Ability to approach new people that lends to the future, new possibility in the future. Right? That's the second reason. Sharing, supporting, and serving. That's what Pawan, came up with, right? I have some knowledge, and I share with somebody, and that somebody asks you a few questions, and now with those few questions, my ears and eyes are open, because now I have the calibrated view on the thoughts or the knowledge that I have in a particular topic. Oh, I didn't think of that. Right? That aha moment, who brings in that aha moment in your career and life? It is somebody, when somebody challenges you. That's the power of network. Right? Ability to relate well with others. Whether it is Nasiruddin Shah or somebody in an educationist or a product manager or a technology expert, how do you relate at that level? Right? In corporate world, we use the term business communication. For example, let us say you are a techie guy, and you have to explain. In fact, during the break, some of them were explaining some of the product that they use. Look, I just don't understand technology, but you're a core technical guy and tech geek. Now, how do you explain me in the language I understand? That is what is relating to somebody. Only when you relate to someone, then the listening happens. If you're not able to relate to somebody, and whatever you're talking becomes rocket science, then you will lose that person in the next 5 minutes. That's what happens. Yeah? Who makes up the network? I think we spoke. Family, friends, neighbors, professionals in your field, vendors, right? We miss them. Vendors. And sometimes vendors are more powerful than the parent or the mother companies. Clients, co-workers, clubs and associations. In fact, that's one thing which I wanted to encourage. I wanted to step in and say just after Ravi spoke today, Indian Institute of Management Bangalore hosts a session every Saturday, first Saturday of the month. Okay, every first Saturday of the month. I don't know how many are aware. This is sponsored by NS Raghavan Center for Innovation, right? That particular session every month, first Saturday of the month, is devoted for startups. All these redbus.com, the Cloud9, all those things were incubated there. So I strongly encourage you to attend on Saturday if you have time. It's a 3-hour long workshop. You have eminent speakers talking on product, innovation. In fact, the next week topic is around how do you IP your product. When you develop product, developing a product is one thing. How do you protect your product from the IP violation, right? So how many know about this? Excellent. So that is what I was mentioning, right? Where you have different hubs where you start leveraging your network. Then volunteer group, and this is what I was mentioning, the support staff. Great. So we answered the last, let's answer the last question. Why network? Build relationship, business or personal, to seek professional advice, or give and seek professional advice. Find a mentor to increase your knowledge, right? And it's developing the knowledge or updating the knowledge is an ongoing basis all the way till you kick the bucket, right? Particularly with the way the things are changing, to find people who can help you in your career and life. Well, what I want to do with these 3 questions, I want to tell a small story in terms of, that relates to networking. This is a story I'm sure you have read it when you all read when you have grown up, when you were growing up. It's a story from Panchatantra. I'm sure most of you know the story by looking at this, right? This is a story about mouse and the crow. It's not right. Okay. The mouse and the crow. This mouse is very, what should I say, helpful animal, and it tries to help different creatures in the surrounding and tries to run into the burrow, comes up every morning. Once rabbit gets trapped by a hunter, it goes to free up that rabbit by cutting the net. And the crow watches all these things. Then, one day crow goes up to this mouse and says, "Hey mouse, I want to become your friend." Mouse, what the hell are you talking? I'm the dinner, you're the diner, right? I don't think this can ever happen. But then crow was very upset. Crow went away. Then crow came back the next day and said, "Mouse, I really want to become your friend. What do you think we can do?" Then mouse said, "Look, this is my territory. I'll be inside. If you want to talk to me, you talk from outside, right? But I'm not keen on taking you inside. I'll be inside the burrow. Any conversation that should happen." It went on for a couple of months, and mouse started trusting the crow. Then the crow started feeding the mouse with the carcass and the bits and pieces, etc. And over a period of time, the trust built. Mouse started trusting, and they started coming together. Question to you all: why did I tell this story? What is in this story?
Building trust.
Building trust. What? Something beyond that.
It takes time.
It takes time. Lovely. It takes time, right? We look for quick wins in life. You know what is quick wins? What is quick win? You talk to somebody when you need some help. And you do everything to impress that person, take the help, and after that, you just drop it. Relationship, trust, networking will never begin without investing time. Not even money, investing time consciously over a period of time, right? And this happens, and most of us look at what is in for me. Let me somehow get things done, then let me, walk away. So this is where you fail in the, whole game of networking. Yeah? Shall we move on? So invest time in the network before you expect payback. You know, that's the primary mistake we all make. Now I have few slides before I talk about. This is called the golden rules of networking, which I picked up from Harvard Business Review, one of the Harvard Business papers. Any questions before we move any further? Good? Lovely. 1. Build outward, not inward. This is again, I need participation, folks. What do you understand by this? Build outward, not inward. You know what is this picture? This is the picture of tree trunk. Yeah? Okay. So it says don't go by that, you go by this. Branch out. What do you mean by that?
Connect with people from
Different platforms.
So there are two use cases. One is something help you're looking for yourself versus you have an interest in helping somebody else or helping somebody else out.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Connect to the people who are connected to your network.
Okay. How many go for lunch with your colleagues every day? Same bunch of colleagues. How many go with your friends every day for walking? Question to all of you. Why are you not choosing new friends when you go for lunch? Why are you not choosing new friends when you go for walking? Why is that?
You don't want to go out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. You don't want to go out of the comfort zone. Number one.
Right.
Number two.
There's already an existing relationship which
Right.
you can build upon.
So you want to deepen, deepen, deepen. By the way, guys, trust me, there is only that much you can deepen.
The
Right.
initial obstacle which you encounter when you start networking, that is not there when you go out with your colleagues, because that has passed already.
Again, I think this gentleman said, you know, comfort zone. You're very comfortable to talk very topics and you go with the same person every day, right? So one of the golden rules of networking is try going lunch with different people. It does not mean that you're abdicating your friends. That does not mean that you're shunting them away. No, it doesn't mean that. Why do you need to do that? Because you have new ideas, new thoughts from every time, you know, new people with who you sort of get along with. Yeah? Clear? Shall we move on to the second one? Okay, here is what it is. Connect with people who you don't work together, work together, party together. Bring in new people, right? Just to give an example, I and Prasad, you know, we know each other for last 3 years, yeah? And our relationship and the trust is so strong that carries on. But I don't think we even connect even once a month. Maybe once a month or once in 2 months we just connect up. Last time I connected with Prasad for 1 month. Does not mean that the bonding has loosened. It is already there, it's given, right? There is no need for any deepening any further. I believe him, he believes me, there is a trust that is completely established and it will go on. Try with, you know, new bunch of people, yeah? Second, go for diversity, not size. What does it mean?
Not the number of LinkedIn connections.
Sorry?
Not number of LinkedIn connections.
Lovely answer. Not number of LinkedIn connects.
Million followers of the people.
Yeah, right? Not this approach. Go for diversity. What does it mean? I think somebody mentioned you find people from different disciplines, right? You need to know bunch of doctors, bunch of architects, bunch of, you know, people from different facets of life. Why do we say that?
Perspective.
Bigger perspective, right? You need to be a rounded professional, right? You need to be a rounded professional from all walks of life.
No, but doesn't that depend on? I mean, that is a valid point of view, but doesn't that depend on like let's say you want to do a startup, right? So of course, getting different perspectives is good, but sometimes getting to know a lot in a certain area is also equally important, right? So I mean, isn't that dependent on what you want to accomplish?
Yeah, absolutely. See, look at within the startup. I get your name. Gangadhar. Gangadhar, look at even the startup itself. In fact, I was in recently in the air show, okay, where there was one startup developing the product around the cockpit instruments, etc. Now, he said, this particular product is developed using a consortium because there are so many stakeholders involved to make this particular product successful. So the answer to you, Gangadhar, is that within the product, you look at how many hubs you can create. It could be somebody who is a testing expert. I don't know your domain. Okay, my profuse apologies there. Maybe testing, then the product development, the marketing, the communication. There are so many sub-verticals within your own domain that you can think of, right? So you can re-articulate the meaning into the space that you are in. Yeah.
There is one more dimension to it. Most of us assume that from size, people who can be superior to me or who can help me is where we draw a line and we try to network with them only. But as you said, somebody, you don't know who would be able to help you in terms of giving inputs or something, and we reduce that scope significantly by limiting that. No, I don't think he would be of any relevance to me. When our friend said that, well, this is, I have a finite energy and time and let me do on these which are more relevant for me. That ability to define that these are relevant for me to network and these are irrelevant sometimes comes as a block in terms of maximum.
Absolutely. That points me to another thought, which is, guys, when you really have to be successful in networking, break this hierarchy. In networking, there is no hierarchy in networking. If you think there is a network of these hierarchies, then it will not fly, right? Because you don't know who is going to make you tick in terms of success, whatever the definition you have. Is it clear? Shall we move on?
Just to add to what you said, is it fair to assume that we can think of everybody as friends?
Absolutely.
And then just take it from there?
Absolutely.
Not to make them partners with something.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know who is going to be of your help later date. Just look at this way, right? See this, for instance, let us say, my 5 years juniors or even 10 years juniors, when you get to, let us say, 35 or 40, you will see a situation where you stagnate in your career. Okay? The growth at which you grew in the initial years, initial 15 years, is not the same rate at which you will grow from, say, 15 to 25. You start stagnating. Okay? And which for obvious reasons, because no organization wants a top-heavy pyramid, right? Now, you will suddenly see your 7-year-old junior, or 7-year junior, 5-year junior to you catching up with you. They were junior to you 2-3 levels below, now suddenly they are becoming peers. Imagine if you had underestimated that guy, moved him away when you were working with him, say, 5 years ago. He's caught up. Right? Think about it. We always have this illusion that this gap will continue eternally. No, it doesn't happen that way. They'll catch up. And there are people who jump from organization to organization and grow and catch up. So there are different people, take different paths. The point that you need to make is, when it comes to networking, it has to be, say, parity. Yeah? So, build an efficient one with different skills, viewpoints from you. Yeah, that's the keyword thing. Next, build weak ties, not strong ones. It looks counterintuitive, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So what does it mean? But I think I already gave some tips. It should have come as an animation, for some reason it has come up. Yeah, but what do you understand by this? Weak ties, not the strong ones.
Flexibility. Increase in flexibility.
Leave flexibility. In fact, I've already given it the clue when I was talking about this few minutes ago. When I was talking about me and Prasad's example.
Takes time.
Yeah?
Takes time.
Depth,
Takes time.
depth reaches the saturation.
You need to uncover new things with a new person who has already got this.
Right. You have weak ties with multiple people. Strong ties anyway is going to be with you. They are not going to run away unless until one of you really screwed it up. Right? It will be with you. So look at new opportunities, build bridges, keep on exploring opportunities so that over a period of time you have a separate inventory of stronger ties coming up. Yeah?
Can I add something?
Yeah, please.
One more perspective to that also, in terms of strong ties get built with people who are like-minded, who are doing similar things. And the strong ties mean that we are thinking similar. So the opportunity of getting new perspective or lateral, different inputs than what you have been thinking, do not come that greatly from strong ties. The weak ties, if we have those ties, then they are the ties which are people thinking differently than what we are. And those inputs sometimes are really valuable for us in terms of challenging us, in terms of helping us look at things differently. So those strong, weak ties are where things which are not in cohesion with your thought, but something tangential to your thoughts would come to you.
Yeah, thank you. Shall we move on? Use hubs, not familiar faces. What do you mean by this? What does it mean? Use hubs, not familiar faces.
Do not network with the friends of your friends.
Sorry?
Do not network with the friends of your friends. Rather go out and meet friends.
Okay. Okay.
Use that person contact to log off with a complete another set of.
Absolutely. Can you explain this to the larger audience better?
No, but typically, if you keep meeting with the same set of people, we will not get new ideas. So rather, if you go with completely new audience, you might unlock another door, which is totally another thing, which you might have never thought you would be doing it.
Absolutely.
And you might find other interesting opportunities.
Plus, it is not just one person in that new hub that you are leveraging, right? That person might put you onto the entire network in that particular space. For example, let us say you are in one domain, either the industry domain or the technology domain. Now, you need some help from a totally different domain. So what you try and make an attempt is to connect it to that hub directly. It could be a social networking hub. It could be a hub that is doing a lot of work. It could be a hub which is giving you a sort of online support, etc. So you invoke that particular hub so that you have more number of people as access points. That's right.
But no, your entry point to a hub is always a person.
Absolutely.
Right? So
that's always a person. Yes, no doubt about it. Yes, Gangadhar, I agree with you. The only thing I am trying to make is, you are not trying to leverage only that person, but the knowledge, the tacit knowledge that is hidden in the huge hub with you. That's what I meant. Shall we move on? Now, this is more for, let's say if you are running a large project and you as a project manager, you have a team and you, for making that particular project successful or delivering that particular release successfully, you have interconnected stakeholders. They are not entirely in your circle of influence. And who you have in your circle of influence is bunch of people who directly roll up to you in your project team. But it's, let's say, interconnected. Let's say there is a testing team. Let's say there is a endorsement team. There is a communication team. Other stakeholders will influence you to make your product delivery successful. What do you do when things don't work out? You need to pull them together to strengthen the ties. Either we do these off-site meetings and team building events, etc., etc. But the question that we need to ask is how efficiently we do it. Is it goal targeted? Is that team building activity goal targeted? Because most of the team building activities goes with wine, dine, drink, have some fun, etc. But the key agenda, typically people drop thinking that it's obvious. From tomorrow morning, what happens when you get to office? The same old silos that exist. So this is the last one. When things don't work, pull people together for a team event or team building. It's mostly for internal within the project that you are part of. Cool. So Ravi, how are we doing on our time?
I still have 15 minutes.
Okay, lovely. So what I want to do now is, can few volunteers help me to distribute this? One copy versus each of them. We have the pens also, if you just pass on one pen each. If people don't have pen, you can pick up one from here. All of you have one?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, have you already recognized what is this activity all about? You recognize? Oh, lovely. Okay, cool. So listen to me careful for a few minutes. Then this is your personal activity. You don't have to show it to anybody, and you can carry it home, build it on this one. But I'm very sure, very confident you will gain a lot out of this. Do it very authentically. That's my request. Okay. Now, to evaluate this, your network, first thing is, these are your stakeholders, okay? Manager, peers, colleagues, team members, people from other teams, other walks of life, client users, family, friends, teachers, people who you teach, and people who you learn from, okay? It could be anybody. Don't restrict to only your family members or friends, etc. What I want you to do is, there are 3 circles, right? The green are the ones where you have very, very strong bonds. Write down the names of people with who you have very strong bonds from any walk of life, okay? Write down the names of people who you have very strong bonds. In the yellow, can you see a center circle, middle circle? There, you write down the names of people who you want to strengthen the ties, strengthen the bond, or strengthen the relationship, strengthen the trust, or whatever. Yeah? And the last circle, it's very, very weak, but you want to develop them. Okay? So you can play this for a very specific goal. For instance, let us say somebody is doing a startup. You can position this particular network activity purely for that particular purpose. Or if somebody wants to do it generically, you choose to do it. Any questions?
You see a student where something has to reinforce. It was strong before. Because of not really differences, but as you said, like you and Prasad will be interacting once a month.
Okay.
Or business relationship, things would have weakened.
Okay.
How do you reinforce your relationship again? It doesn't fall either, like it's still not strong, it's weakened now.
Yeah. What would have happened? It was here. It would have moved here. Then you need to bring it back here.
Correct.
Yeah. So then you need to write it here. Write them here. Write them here. Or it could be a case where, let us say, you had a very strong bond, and one fine day you really royally messed it up, and now this is moved here all the way. But you become awakened after a few days, right? You have this instant answers, knee-jerk reactions. People make mistakes sometimes with the knee-jerk reactions, rub very badly. But after 1 or 2 days or a week, they realize, what the hell I did? I think, we were so good with each other. Somewhere, the guilt starts pricking, right? And bring it back. If those are the cases, then put them here. Let's see how it works. Any other questions?
Just wondering if you have enough time for questions, general questions.
General questions?
I'm sure people have questions about general.
Uh-huh.
Are we going to address that?
Now, after this, there is a speed networking event, right?
No,
Yeah. This takes You have just 2 minutes to complete this. Okay? Just 2 minutes. It's not going to take much. Because if you think more, no, then they are not in the network at all. Because to write people in your first circle, I don't think you need to spend more than 30 seconds. Yeah, quickly.
They're writing names, they're just writing groups in family, friends, or...
No, write names. No, don't write groups. That's very dangerous. Write very specifically.
So somehow only professional name comes to your mind, rather than families and friends.
Whatever, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I mean, is that a general thing? That's what I'm asking.
No, I will not tell now. I want the activity to be completed. There's a lot of revelation that happens. This is only for you, you don't have to show it to anybody. It's your activity. Seconds more. Great. Now look at this slide. There are two things quickly you need to do. A, wherever you have the green, where you have the strong bonding, write only one reason, okay? You can do this activity more in detail at home, but just write one reason why the bonding is so strong. Just one reason. Why you have put them slightly at a distance. Write only one reason. But I really encourage you to go back and write few more reasons when you do this, separately, because a lot of things comes out. Why have you put them away? Just write one reason. If you have, for individual you have reasons, you please go ahead and write. In reality, this is almost 2-hour activity, but we don't have that luxury. But I just wanted to tell you all the process so that you can do it in detail later on. Later on, yes.
Individually you should be.
Absolutely, each individual will have a different reason, right? Good question. Lovely. So now look at B, right? What you need to do is things that you will continue to retain this bonding. What is one thing that you will do to continue retain that bonding? What is one thing that you will do to improve the relationship? What is one thing that you will do to develop the relationship? Just write in these 3 circumstances.